All right, welcome to Council of the North, episode 3. We're gonna take it pretty easy tonight. Just chat about some stuff, specifically heroic actions and spending your might points. But actually, fun fact: getting this podcast set up. I just remember this right now too. 90% of podcasts fail by the time they get to 3 episodes. So if we can get this episode out, we're in the top 10% of podcasts.
Wow, awesome.
Thanks for that fun fact.
And if you want to be in the top 1%, you have to get to 20 episodes. So,
Easy.
just something to shoot for.
Easy. We're there already, basically.
Be good for all
An
7
extremely
of our
far way
listeners
away.
to have lots of content to listen to. But anyway, tonight, heroic actions. How do you spend your might points? It should be a pretty relaxed conversation about stuff like that. I don't know. I guess is there any thoughts about heroic actions before like a game even starts for you guys? Like, do you walk up to a table and see what you're facing, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be spending my might on this game."
Other
It
than
can definitely
strike,
go over your head, go through your mind.
well, does it go over your head or does it go through your mind? Those are the
Bit of
opposites.
both.
Well, I believe you
both.
there. I believe that they go over your head.
Sometimes
and
you
through your
just right over, you have no idea. And other times, you're dialed in.
head. Yeah.
Oh God. No, but for example, when I rock up against dwarves, I basically decide that I'm not going to call any heroic actions. Like, I'm going to just try to spend might points to like get wounds. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That's
But
interesting.
when you come up against like a cav army, you know you're going to be calling moves all game.
Yeah. Or
That's
if
fair.
you have Cav yourself, you want to be making sure you get those charges off.
Yeah. So there's a bit before the game even starts, but what would you guys say are your most used heroic actions?
I mean, move, for sure, move. Pretty much like guaranteed at least one a game, right? You're calling a move.
Yeah, probably multiple, right?
Yeah, at least one. Like, I don't think I've ever played a game without one heroic move. You know, like coming down to like second last or third last turn, you're like, I need to pick my fights here. You pretty much always call one, cavalry or not. Move is like for sure the most popular, I think.
Yeah.
Followed by strike, probably the second most popular.
Probably combat.
Oh yeah, maybe combat.
Yeah, I feel like move and combat are the two big ones, right?
Would you think it would have to do a lot with the list you're bringing? Like, Andrew, if you're bringing your army of Edoras, pulling off a heroic move is probably more important than if you brought your Depths of Moria. And you're just then fighting, like, okay, I got 50 goblins. If you get to charge off, I have 50 goblins. It's kind of okay. But if your army of Edoras, you're down to 20 cav. You want to make sure you're getting that charge off those bonuses and not getting bogged down yourself. Think that
Yeah,
comes into play?
yeah, for sure, for sure. I'd also like to. I have an issue with your language there. You're saying my Depths of Moria. I've played them one time this edition. I wouldn't use a possessive article like that. They're not really mine.
You're a depth player now.
No,
Yeah, you're scum.
one
You
once
betrayed
isn't
your
a
roots.
pattern, okay? Once isn't a pattern.
You already said you're bringing them in August, so
I'm probably gonna. It's just so easy. I hate to harp on this again, but it was so easy. Anyway, it's not mine. But yeah, whatever you said, yeah, I agreed with that before I made that dumb joke and ruined the flow of everything. Um, Also, both Depths and Army Veterans have free hero combat, so yeah, I'm using combats a lot in a lot of my games.
yeah, it feels like there's a lot of free hero combats in edition now too.
Yeah.
which is nice because being able to pull off a heroic combat's really fun. It's powerful. You could do a lot of things with it in the game. And with those lists that have the free heroic combat, it's nice that you can use your might elsewhere and not have to worry about that so much. Or double down on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess might is the most important resource in the game, right?
Yeah,
I would think so,
for sure.
by far.
Do you guys have like I know we talked a little bit earlier about heroic actions that you think are not up to snuff and challenge came up. Do we really think challenge is useless or do we think it's got a place now?
I just gave it a read. Um, I failed to see a time where you would want to use it outside of a very slim number of scenarios. Because basically, you're both getting an extra attack and +1 to wound against the other hero model. But if you're the bigger hero, you don't. Like the one with higher fight value, or the one with a larger strength, or the one that's mounted and it's gonna knock them over and kill them anyway. You don't really care. You just got to win the fight. And if you're the less strong hero, um, you don't want to boost up this other huge killy hero with an extra dice and a +1 to wound. Like you just want to tie them up if they're fighting you, really, and you don't have the choice. So I fail to see where it's good for either side. Um,
Well, even if they decline it, like if you call it, even if they decline it, you still get the bonuses, right?
yeah, but if someone calls it and spends the might, you're always accepting. I don't see as a situation where you wouldn't accept, except for because I think you
You
have to
have to charge
charge if
them.
you can, to stop them from running away from you if the scenario calls for it. Like if you're not on an objective, like on domination or something, and then you challenge, uh, and they say, okay, well, I have to decline, then I guess that's another like niche case where it would be good. The other time where it is good, which I didn't say, was your hero who's of a heroic tier is just way better than other heroes not heroic tier. Shagrat comes to mind. Fight 6, 3 attack, strength 5. He's gonna kill like every single hero forward to pretty much. So
Yeah.
you would want to call it with him because you're just pumping him up.
And him not being mounted, it's like the one way to speed him up to like actually kill a model in one turn, like kill a captain in one turn or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Does he still get the rule where he gets might back when he kills something? Or is that old edition?
No,
The challenge, yes, you do get your might point back if
No,
you're the
not
one.
challenge, but built into Shagrat.
no, that
Shagrat?
was I think that was Blood and Glory, and that's gone now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It was the one that
Good
Gilgalad
riddance.
had too, and he lost it.
Right, yeah.
Got replaced with General Hunter, I think.
Yeah, General Hunter, yeah. That's a specific rule. Really, really niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Wolf has that rule too, right? So I think that
Yeah,
came
I
up
think
in
you're
my
right.
last game where I played Wolf, and it was like he killed Glorfindel, but it was like, man, doesn't get the might for it.
Yeah, he just takes it as
Makes
you're
yeah.
way better than him and he doesn't get anything for it.
I guess the challenge, like the not having like a huge benefit payoff, I would also relate to like Heroic Strike, where like it's one thing to go up against Ents and you have to strike against them to try to beat their fight value and stuff. But if you ever like there I see a lot of people that like bump two fight six models into each other and then they both strike and then it's all just random, right? Like it's 50-50. There's not I, I try to always avoid that because leaving anything up to like a 50-50 roll just never feels good, right?
No.
Yeah, for sure. And having played a lot of Army Veterans where both like your heroes are only fight 6, I definitely try to avoid those scenarios. But there are times where you want to do it. Like when I've faced Fornost, if I can get a charge on the Arner with Helm and Haleth, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. Plus, Helm can like one shot a lot of man-sized heroes anyway, especially with one fate. But usually, yeah, you don't want to like Will. You said it really good. Will, your plan shouldn't be to try and find a fight with the other hero and strike. That's never really a good plan, unless you have
Yeah,
a reason to do it.
yeah. I think strike is like a really overused heroic. Like it's a super common one for people to use, like charging alerts into an Aragon and trying to strike up to be, or like you know what I mean. Like it feels like that's like a tactic a lot of people use, and I think that that's just like a wrong tactic to be trying to do.
I think it's less used now that strike's only D3, but yeah, it is still overused.
It's like a carryover from the previous edition where it was extremely good for a lower cost hero that could actually end up rolling high and matching a plate value of someone way out of their league. They've
Like
done a
yeah,
good job of reeling it back in, but now you question how often you want to use it. Is it going to really pay out? But on the
Yeah,
other hand, too, if
exactly.
you do strike, there's a good chance your opponent's going to strike as well, which you may not exactly have the higher fight value, and your hero that was striking might lose, but you're still burning might off of the enemy hero who is stronger than you, which puts you at a strong position, maybe not a strong position, but a potentially strategic position
Yeah,
to come back with somebody else. It's just
yeah,
you got to think about your board, your army, their army, how everything sort of lines up.
yeah. I feel like last edition it was all about trying to find like a cheap striker to go in and mess up, just mess with like a big hero's plans and stuff. And now I find myself like looking for, instead of like a cheap striker, like a cheap someone that has like heroic defense to just stand in their way and try to tie them up for a while, right?
heroic defense is a good heroic. I think it's underused.
Yeah,
I think the
100%.
problem with heroic defense is if you win the fight, then it feels like a bit of a waste on just using it.
Yeah, but I mean, I usually you use it when you're like, even if you win, you know, you shouldn't have won. It's like 3 dice to 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're like, yeah, okay, I'll just whatever. I'll just defense here instead of strike. Or then, but what if sometimes then it's just worth it to strike and be like, I could strike higher, unless you can't strike higher. Then yeah,
yeah. I guess the tactics of it is different, right? Like a defense feels like you're trying to be a bump in the road, whereas strike feels like I don't know, you're gambling. You're gambling on one dice roll to try to get, unless you're striking against something that can't strike, but like to spend a might point on a roll to see who rolls higher is feels worse than spending a might point and accidentally winning a fight and getting to try to win somebody.
Yeah, and I mean the same thing with defense. My issue with defense is just what if you win? Then it feels like a bit of a burn up of money. But it also goes into heroic strength, which I have used in to success and to failure. You're taking a 50-50 shot. Like, you still might win or you might lose.
Hmm.
Then you went all out to try and kill something. It's like I don't even got the fight. Now I don't have the might to hypothetically bump myself up. Or you have the might to, like, you roll a 5, they roll a 6, you have the higher fight, and maybe you could use that might to get to a 6, and now you don't have as much might for anything else because you're committed.
Yeah, yeah. I look back at some of my games and like I've played a lot with like Boromir recently, and like every game I go into, other than like there was one at the team's tournament we went to that was the Balrog, and it's like you have to deal with the Balrog because there's so many VPs. So like the first turn of combat, he goes in and strikes, and I happen to win. Had him surrounded in the Fort Gondor and everything, and so we did like 7 wounds. And then immediately once I get those wounds in the Balrog, Boromir leaves because it's like I would never want to risk. Like strike just isn't reliable, right? So it's like I had to take a little gamble there. But then in all my other games, like when I come up against the Gullivar or like some of the other dwarf heroes and stuff. It's like, there's no point in risking it. Like Boromir can go off and call a heroic combat and kill 4 troops, which is almost gaining me more than having a heroic strike off against Aragon, right?
Yep. You're trumping through
Yeah, for
more.
sure.
On the other hand, though, Aragorn now might be running through and killing 4 troops a turn as well.
Yeah, it becomes a bit of a race. That was probably a bad example.
Nice.
But I
The
see what
two
you're
the two
saying.
might heavy heroes, but
Yeah.
even when I play
Like
Birder,
Balrog, maybe.
Birder is like fight 7 Birder, and like I walk up against a Boromir or a Durin or something, and it's like if I go try to kill them, they wound me on like 4s. Is it worth a 50-50 roll off to do that, or is it worth it to just fight something close to them and chuck a warrior to knock them down every turn?
Yeah. Definitely something to that.
Do you guys when you list build, do you look for heroic actions in your heroes? Like, are you trying to find someone with specific ones or what?
Yeah.
Zach says
Well, not
no.
my current list.
Okay, your current list is
Battle of Fornost, it's with what I've been playing. I'm not looking for heroics. I'm just playing some big beefy dudes and hoping for the best. I mean, those beefy dudes usually carry a lot of good stuff with them. Minus, I think the only thing I don't really have access to on my list is heroic march, and I don't think I have a heroic defense either. But that's okay. I'm not losing sleep over it. The march would be nice, but I got cab too. I don't in that list. I don't think about it so much.
yeah.
I think that that would be a really good question if list building was better, because usually you're kind of stuck into what heroes you can take
I think
for
actually
many lists.
I think I asked the two worst people this question because you both just play the same list over and over again, and you play the same heroes over and over again.
Yeah, we both just play 2 heroes.
Two hero lists.
2 hero lists.
Load up with some. Well, sometimes my list is a 4 hero list. Might be the
Yeah.
fat worst iteration of the list, but sometimes it happens.
With the Rangers of the North.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've been trying to fit in Hama, and I can't see a points level where I would want to bring him. Um, and he has access to heroic accuracy, which I'd like to try to snipe a banner, snipe a horse. Even though he already has sharpshooter, so he's not taking full advantage of that. But yeah, he seems. I don't want to say he's overcosted, but he's difficult to justify fitting in. And then without having outriders for some reason in the army of all of Edoras, not getting that in Legacy is weird too. Just makes it even harder to take him. Whereas I could have like 3 or 4 outriders with him hitting on 3s. It would make it a little bit more viable. So yeah, that was sort of tangent, but to answer your question, now I look for what heroic actions I can use, but for the list I play, I run the 2 heroes.
And what
Yeah.
about when you build your depths lists? Seeing as you're a depths player
My
now,
options
does
are
that go into account with
March
how
and
many?
March. Those are my heroic options.
So you put in
Yeah,
some thought to your lists.
there's you guys play lists with no variety. That's like the problem here.
Hey, my next 2 projects are got some variety. Might take a little bit more thinking.
Well, when you look at doing like a Defenders of Pelennor or something like that, like when you go to list build, does that cross your mind, or are you still just choosing heroes you like and then seeing what you're left with?
I'm choosing heroes I like. Yeah. Well, if with the defenders for sure, I'm probably choosing characters I like, and then characters that I'll get use out of the army bonus. So no, I'm not really looking at heroics actions.
So you're still not gonna have a march in the army.
So we're
No.
bad players, is what we're trying to say. We're just bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
I
Brutal.
just want to punch stuff with Helm. Is that so wrong? Is that wrong to do? Am I playing the game wrong? Am I having fun wrong?
Are you having fun when you play Helm?
Except for when he rolls like garbage, which is often.
Sometimes
I
I think you
think
have fun.
Sometimes I have fun.
What about you, Will? You account for heroic actions when you're building your list?
I always try to get a march and a defense in there. Those are the two that I like now. Especially like the reclamation list I've been playing is so much fun because Faramir is just cannon fodder. I
Does he have
don't care
heroic
about him.
defense?
He has defense, yeah. He's got
Oh,
like five. He has like all the actions, and then I always bring a captain for March because I like captain better than Madril. But he, yeah, I love it because Boromir just gets to do whatever he wants. Faramir just goes into the biggest thing on the other side of the table and just tries to stall them. Tries to die slowly. Feels so good.
probably not for the other guy.
Yeah, heroic actions are funny, right? Like I feel like walking into a game with like so many might, I always have a plan for how it's gonna go and like what I'm gonna call, and then I never stick to it. Like that dwarves one, I'm always like, oh man, I'm not gonna call any heroic actions. I'm only gonna spend my 9 might points to like convert 9 kills because I'm rolling sixes to win them everywhere or whatever. And then I always
Yeah.
end up calling a move or a combat or something like that. Like, but trying to stay focused with how you spend your might is a tough thing to learn, I feel.
And I think in a way too, with the more scenarios in play currently, looking for a heroic march is really important. Um, like just to being able to even stake a claim, use a march, you can get to those center objectives a lot quicker if you don't have cavalry.
Yeah, or even with cavalry, you can score them turn one, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess they could reach
I
if you
think cavalry
deploy
can score
directly
turn one
away.
anyways,
Yeah, if you deploy directly in front of them.
and like obviously train and stuff affects you, but yeah, generally that's you should be able to, and you can
Yeah,
start
I
racking up
guess.
your points.
Yeah, exactly, right? Do I guess in the past have either of you played Magic really? Do you guys play Magic ever? Have you used it much?
Last edition.
Yeah. Was it just
Yeah,
Mordor like ring race stuff or
yeah.
what do you think of channel? Because I don't really play Magic very often. But the new Auto 6 with the heroic channeling, what do you think of that?
Yeah, that's strong. That's really strong.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's really strong. I had to use against me. I forget when. Someone was channeling stuff. Maybe it was Kyle Vandegraff. He was channeling some stuff from the Witch King. Oh yeah, he channeled the transfix on the Balrog, and I just used my resist magic free dice, and I rolled a six to resist it. That was fun. Um,
Spicy reroll.
um, I think it's strong. Being able to just say I'm getting a six with 1 point of will and a point of might, I think is
Yeah.
really, really strong. Especially if they're like they have only one will left or something, when they don't have three to throw at it for a 50% chance to get a six. I think it's good. I like it better than it's upgrading the spell to like a more dangerous version.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler too, right?
Yeah, because you'd be like, oh, what's transfix? What's channel transfix? And what's the difference between compel? And then, of course, those have changed over this edition, the last two editions, those have changed each time. So it's nice to just have one, it does one thing instead of
Yeah.
multiple.
Yeah,
And
100%.
it's pretty good just getting that six. I mean, you might have to burn a lot of resources to try and get that six yourself or take the magic spell. It's consistent. I think it's a consistent heroic action when you look at it. Like some of these other ones we've talked about, are they consistent? Heroic strike, not really consistent. Heroic
I guess,
defense
yeah, you're talking like getting
is
value out of
fairly
it, right?
consistent because if you win the fight, okay, big deal, you get to strike. But if you lose, you're covered. Heroic strength, I think, is inconsistent for sure, because if you lose, you get no gain. But if you win, then obviously it is good. But heroic channeling, just you get a six. Good. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, you're always getting the value from the might point, right?
Yeah. You're not taking a chance you spending it and it's not going to pay out for you. It's a really good point. I actually kind of forgot heroic channeling was even a thing.
If you don't play caster, you never even see it, right?
Yeah.
And there's
And I guess
not been
I'd
a
go the
whole lot
same
of
thing with
magic.
what the heroic resolve, right? That's got to do with trying to resist the magic. Or is that which one was this again?
Yeah, that's heroic resolve.
Yeah. Another
What
thing
does it
I
even
don't
do?
ever
I'll
really
be
use.
honest, I've never used heroic resolve.
It's decent now. Like now it at least it can activate your stand fast when you lose priority, which is nice.
Okay, so actually does
Like
a bit more.
yeah, so Faramir gets to call it for free when you break, so he gets to count as passing his courage test even if he gets charged and keep warriors within 6 around.
Oh,
And then
so
it
you get
also
two.
it yeah, it gives you the +1. It gives you resistance to magic on everybody in range, right, too. I
Within
should have read
6.
the actual
Get an additional free dice for making resist test. Yeah. Cool. An additional one, so you already have resist to match. You get another one.
yeah, yeah, so everybody gets a free dice.
So reclamation you get because Boromir's auto passing the first time, right? At least the
Yes.
general. And
Yeah.
then so you get two stand fast. That's pretty good. That's a nice little buff.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it does.
Faramir is really good once you break, but it's not fun to break.
No.
No, because normally if you're breaking, you're giving up so many VPs elsewhere. So what if he's good? It's can you hold out long enough to try and turn it around again is tough.
Yeah. And usually I've killed him off by the time we get to breaking. It's usually in front of the
Send some
strongest thing.
resources towards Boromir to help him kill him.
What about you mentioned it earlier, Zach. What about heroic strength? We the doubling strength. I know what took down a Balrog for Andrew.
Yeah, sure did.
I killed
It's
Treebeard with it before in one turn of combat. It feels pretty good when it works.
yeah. Yeah, it does feel pretty good when it works.
But yeah, it's tough because you got to look at how are you going to win the fight. I think you'd really have to pay attention to how many models you're getting, who you're going up against. Like in the situation where I used against Treebeard, I Glorfindel get the charge off. I used a two-handed weapon with him, so I'm going to get +2 to wound on the strike. So it's going to be pretty easy to get some wounds in. And then to back it up, I had a bunch of, well, I had Aenor in the combat too, and I think I had two or three other knights. So it's like, yeah, you're getting the extra dice to help you win the fight and not have to worry about losing with good fight value.
Yeah.
And Glorfindel's a good chance too because he's got a high fight that you roll a 6 on your potentially 3 or 4 dice if you charge. It's going to help you out. But some other models with it don't have as many attacks. And they're going to have to think, am I going to win if I'm in a one-on-one combat? Do I have more models to help get these dice numbers up? Is how I look at it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is interesting. I've never actually called one just because I'm always too good at winning a fight, you know? Like I would if I'm gonna be going for something I need to strength against, I probably need to strike it with a fight 6 hero.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah, that's
That's
where
why you got to
Zach's
try
got.
and combo it off.
Yeah, like Zach can kind of
Yeah.
strike with Aeoner and strength with Glorfindel or things like that, right? Or I'm sure with Helm and Howleth you could pull that off too.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta do the two. Although
And Andrew
I was
just
having issue even with just striking, trying to get up to fight 8 with a fight 6 and just having my whole army
striking with both
dismantled by
of them.
ends. Yeah, I have to strike with both strikers just to get two chances to roll a 4 plus or whatever, 3 plus.
Yeah.
What else
It's
do we got?
that's when heroic strike is a fickle thing.
Fight 6 is rough. I'm complaining about it. It's rough.
That's like that's like It's so good for every army. And then, like, how many Fight 7 heroes do we have? We have like a handful. There's more now, but we have a handful. And all the roll-on heroes you got just got upgraded to Fight 6 from Fight 5, and then you still complained about their fight value.
Okay, yeah, but look, I like the change to Rogue Strike. I think the D3 makes it much more interesting. But Fight 5 with a D6 or Fight 6 with a D3, like, it's a very clear winner on which one you're picking. So it's a buff, but it's a net nerf to Rohan.
What would you give to get Helm at Fight 7?
He would just get it. No, he'd probably have to go up a few more points. Um, if 10 points, probably. I mean, 5 is technically what it should be, but I think you could bump Helm up by 10 points for maybe 15.
No,
Just make him even 200.
they're all just a bunch of peasants on horses. They don't deserve Fight 7.
It's Helm Hammerhand, Will.
Dude, he has fists like hammers, but that doesn't make him good at fighting.
I agree, which is
Okay.
why I don't think he should be Fight 7. Although Wraith Helm is Fight 7. Wraith Helm's whole, we did a whole podcast on that model they destroyed, but
Yeah, they messed that
we'll
one
not
up.
go there. I think Fight 6 is fine for the record. I just think it's challenging to play with.
Can you give
It's fine.
us, while we're on the topic of Wraithelm, can you just say your idea for him out loud? Because it's actually a good idea.
Before we were doing a paint night, before the movie came out, I think, so a while ago. And I obviously have read all the source material for Helm, all 6 pages of it. He's one of my favorite characters, which is why I'm the top Army of Headras player in the world,
Oh my
allegedly.
god.
Just plugging that till I get usurped by someone else. So actually good at the game.
I feel like there's got to
Uh,
be people out there that don't use Longshanks that are just not in
yeah, and they're not
competition with you.
recorded, so they can't be top in the world, can they? My
Just
idea
type in
for
plug.
yeah, I can't believe it. So I'm gloating about it while I have it. My idea for Wraith Helm was that uh, once was a once per turn you can like take him off the board and pop him up 6 inches somewhere else, or like, and then like for deployment he could pop up like anywhere outside of 6 or outside of 8 of something of enemy models, something like that.
Yeah, it was basically like a deep strike from 40k or like the ambush by
Yeah,
Birder, like the he actually he doesn't have to start on the starting line with everyone and move 6 inches, right? He gets to
yeah. He could deploy kind of anywhere outside of charge range, and then uh, for movement, you just take him up off the board and measure his movement, so he like doesn't get trapped. He just like disappears and comes back where you want him.
It's
That was
also
my
a lot
idea.
less problematic than Birder's Horde because Birder can bring a warband of how many
Yeah,
models with him?
yeah,
Helm is
Helm's
can't lead
independent.
anybody, so he's just showing up by himself. So there's still a lot of risk with him randomly showing up on a board somewhere. Not like you're having an entire army show up behind your back line and just destroy you.
dude, don't knock Birder's Horde. It's fine, leave it alone. Let me play it.
I think it's a very strong list, depending on the board.
Yeah,
You just
I
need to
own a
get to a
board that
tournament
it
and
doesn't
play it.
work on. Yeah, I should go to a tournament. That'd be nice. But yeah, Birder's Horde, man, I'm telling you, 500-600 points Birder's Horde, I think is top tier. No hill
I think
trolls,
so too.
just an actual horde. It's pretty crazy.
Pretty
But
nasty.
anyway, I think the only two heroics we haven't touched on are the shooting ones, heroic shoot and heroic accuracy. Have you guys
Yeah, I think you're
ever
right.
have you guys ever called one of those?
Well, we did talk about accuracy a little bit because I was talking about fitting Hama into a list, and I couldn't justify it. And he has accuracy, and I want to use it. So it gives you sharpshooter, which means you don't roll. You just pick your target, like whether it's the horse or the rider.
Right.
So basically you avoid one in the way roll for that, or shooting a ring wraith, right? You can pick the ring wraith, um, and then you re-roll all your other in the ways. So if you're shooting through a battle line, you usually have at least one, sometimes two in the ways to get through the two shields and then spears and then into your juicy target. And you have to reroll those, which isn't super. It's not like it helps with consistency for sure. Obviously, you're getting full rerolls on your four pluses, which is what I think like 75% chance.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So it's pretty good. Um, I don't know. I think it's good.
Have you
I
ever
think
used it?
that I've never used it. Well, I haven't fit Hum into a list, so I haven't, and I've only played Army Federers. So,
You should
so
really
no,
try
I
it
haven't
one day.
used it. Eh? What are you
Really need
saying?
to try it one day.
Yeah, well, it kind of brings up another topic, which is like the lower points tournaments, which we'll talk about in another episode. But I think in like a 200 or 300 point event, I think he'd be good. Anyway, um, yeah, I've never used accuracy. Maybe I've called a shoot once, just because I had some bows and like I don't need to move first, but I would like to shoot first. It's pretty niche. I think I've done it one time.
Yeah.
It's pretty niche. It's nice to have. I think it's fine to have in the game. Um, Maybe if you played like a more shooting heavy list against another shooting heavy list, you would call it more.
Yeah. Like if you had a Dale head-to-head matchup, you
Oh
might want to get that
Yeah,
first
yeah,
round of
then I think
shooting.
it's getting called way more than move.
yeah.
Try and take out his win lances before his win lances take out you.
Yeah.
Poor Zach Stock. We had a teams tournament where our fourth player played Dale and got in a mirror match, and then proceeded to both what they both called heroic shoot the first turn, and then he lost the roll off, and then
And died.
the wind lances killed his wind lances,
He was out win lanced.
which is kind of hilarious but sad.
I
But
think
yeah,
the
do
only
you?
other outright interesting army where heroic shoot could really come into play besides just obviously a heavily shooting army is just touch on the Black Root Veil archers. They have a special rule that directly relates to doing a heroic shoot. Uh, the Deadeye shot, when they're benefiting from a heroic shoot, this model may reroll fail to wound rolls when making shooting attacks.
Oh,
So if
okay,
you can
yeah,
sort of get them set up and you have enough of them, it could actually help you kill some extra things.
yeah. And does Dwinier have a benefit from that rule too, or
He doesn't, unfortunately, but his
he gets
passive
to call the shoot
ability,
for them?
he'd call for them, yeah.
Yeah,
But
okay.
that's the difference now too, is he's down to 2 might instead of 3 like last edition, so he's gonna get it twice a game if that's what you want to spend it on. But it helps too, because a weakness to that is, yeah, you get to reroll your wounds. What if you bought your shots? And that's where his passive comes into play of other friendly Black Root Veil models within 3 inches may reroll the hit rolls of a 1 when making shooting tech, provided they have not moved that turn. So all you'd have to really do is hope that you're not rolling a 2, and you're
Yeah,
probably going to get as consistent amount of your
a
shots
lot.
off to then hopefully reroll your failed wounds into a big killing spree. Hypothetically.
Yeah, we've talked about I think all of them now. I know it was quick and just a little once over. I guess the only thing I'll ask is, do you guys have any war stories from, I don't know, a great heroic action that you used, or some, or like any strategies or tactics when you're using this stuff? Oh, I'm putting you on the spot, so I'll give you a chance to think. I'll go first. But I think back to Zach and I was in a doubles tournament, and we had a Bolgon Warg that we were able to heroic combat, and then actually dismount off the Warg, walk through a small gap, and get into a Ring Wraith on a Fell Beast. And that was they ended up calling a TO over and stuff to make sure it was actually a legal move. But yeah, stuff like that, like heroic actions where we were screwed and there was a Fell Beast hurling down our line. Uh, Turns out that through the heroic combat, we were able to sneak Bolg in there and at least stop it from happening for a turn.
Yeah, that was a exceptional little next level play for sure that worked out.
And it's so
I will
satisfying
take
when you get
no
something
credit
like
for
that.
that.
It's so satisfying when you get somebody all tilted and calling it to you over.
But
That
you're
might
just
be
a
one of the
fun
best
player,
parts of the game.
Yeah, I'm just there for fun. I don't. That's why I play this game is for fun.
Yeah, just for
just
fun.
for fun.
For fun. Do you guys have any stories like that? Anything where you've pulled off something wild?
I know I have, but I can't think of it right now.
That's great
Um,
content for the
I
podcast.
know, I know, really great. Should just made one up. Um, no, I think I can think of an anti one actually, if you want that.
Sure.
This was at that team's tournament as well. Um, I was playing Army Veteras against Return of the King, the Ghosts, and Aragorn Legolas on Fog of War. My target was Legolas, and uh, he had this one ghost sort of zoning me out, sort of away from his. I wrapped around the whole board all the way around to the other side, and he was zoning me out with one ghost, and I charged it with three riders and helm, and I called it combat. Um, and then I charged. My plan was to charge into Legolas, but then Aragorn and the King both called combats as well, and so I charged into Legolas, and then he stripped off helm and wounded helm. I didn't get to kill Legolas. And I think I lost that game. Oh, no, I can't remember now anyway. It didn't work out. In my head, it was going to be epic, and then it wasn't. It wasn't epic. But
Exactly.
hero combating is a lot of fun. Like, even just like taking like three riders in helm or three royal guard in helm, you destroy like a single orc, and then you get to move 20 inches that turn. It's pretty crazy.
When does a real combat become worth it? Like,
It's free every turn.
but
We need to
I
kill a
mean,
bunch of
like,
models.
If you can pick off four for sure, it's worth it. Like, and if you can even three, I think it's still worth it. Like 1 point of might for three models, it's pretty good.
yeah, I
Two
guess it
models
depends
is
what you're
not worth.
facing.
Two is no,
It's not worth three goblins, but it'd be
no,
worth.
not three goblins, but like three Ministerial warriors with shield wall,
Yeah,
and you can wrap around the back of it or something. Then it's
Yeah.
worth it.
yeah,
Anything that could
I,
disrupt the battle line
yeah.
would be
Yeah,
really useful.
The extra movement I find is like the most useful thing. Is like being able to explode three or four warriors with the hero
yeah.
to run around the back or get into a better position. Like I feel like a lot of the times for all combats I'm trying to use to just either reposition or get traps or something, right?
Actually, one I guess this was technically old edition, like last edition, but I heroic combat with helm off an ent that I was fairly certain I was going to kill. Um, I think it was a thing where Haleth struck and Helm combated, and we killed the Ents, and then like eight riders just scattered and just ran away from the rest of the Ents. Uh, and like I left some like dismounted guys to body block, and he just couldn't catch my heroes the rest of the game. That was my last victory against an Ent. I've had three games since then.
And I mean, that my last at the last tournament we were at, and we talked about it in the last episode. But that game we played, the Seize the Prize, or no, I don't know, whichever one it was. This digging about
Heirlooms?
the treasure,
Heirlooms, yeah.
and my opponent Rob, he used General Targ's hero combats to slingshot himself within range of getting close to killing me and taking the prize for himself.
Hmm.
That last turn where it was just fortunate my guy survived. Otherwise, the game would have flipped the exact opposite way. But the only reason he really caught up was because he kept hero combating on the guys I left behind to try and slow him down, which might have been a mistake.
Yeah, hurl combat gets you an extra move, which is like the most like movement is like the most important part of the game, right? Like it's getting you a double move phase in a turn, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially when you're not expecting someone to be in that area for a whole nother turn. Like if they wanted to get close, they'd be like, okay, well they gotta get through this turn. Now they gotta move there again. Well, now I'm already there before the next move phase, and you were within range of charging something you weren't expecting to. And now if you say lose that move, you're now on the back foot where you thought you might have had that extra bit of time.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to predict or like to pay attention to, right? Like I remember a game of Destroy the Supplies. I played a guy in our local league. He was playing Dane, who like once he gets a kill, always has to charge. And so I thought I was super smart. I lined up like three guys all 5 inches apart, so that the next three turns he'd have to kill one and then move 5 inches, kill the next one, and like just dragging him away from the battle. And then there was two left, and he heroic combated and ended up just killing both of them, and then destroyed one of my supplies because I had daisy chained him to the back of the board, which is right where he needed to be.
nice one. I do think predicting and seeing when you should heroic combat and when you should defend against it is a big part of becoming better at the game. Sure. I know when I started paying attention to that, I started winning a lot more games.
Yeah, even just
I'd
learning
agree with
to
that.
leave a guy behind to like catch the heroic combat. Like you know what's gonna happen. So you leave one guy from the charge instead of being able to get to two or something, right?
Yeah.
Or do that preemptive heroic strike with your hero, even though you don't need it in the fight he's in, expecting that maybe a bigger hero is going to heroic combat off of their guy into his fight. Now you might have that fight value advantage.
Yeah, remember we talked about strike being a waste of might points? It's another way they can just waste your might points.
Yeah, actually, at the tournament at Torchlight, uh, when I had the Balrog against Aragorn, met the West, he preemptively, I called a combat first, and he preemptively struck, and I was like, all right, I just won't charge Aragorn this turn. He's fighting 100 goblins, and I heard combat and killed some other stuff.
Yeah.
And then if you don't strike, you send the hero in. So strike is just, yeah, it's a rough heroic. You need it, like it's a huge crutch. You do need it, but you never want to use it.
No.
Yeah. I feel like it gets used way more than it should, right? Like you always hear like talking to people after their games, like, oh yeah, we had a strike off and I lost, so I lost my big hero or whatever, right?
Yeah, familiar.
Zach, you got any crazy moves? Any
Nothing specific. Just playing Battle for Nos, there's some really satisfying games when you have like a heroic combat with both Aenor and Glorfindel into just a bunch of guys and you kill around like 7, 8 models in one turn of combat. Feels really good.
feels good to kill a quarter if somebody's forcing a turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be if you're gonna kill that many, you're probably facing like a really hoardy army and low defense, so it's not extremely challenging, and they have a lot of other guys to back it up. But when you chunk off a big number, it definitely feels good. I'd say the most satisfying heroic action you could use is probably heroic combat.
Yeah. Yeah, it
It
is
just feels good for you when you pull it off. And you're like, man, I've done a lot of work this turn more than I should have.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, I think that's about it. Like,
Hold on. I have an idea that's gonna be on the fly here. I think
okay,
you're gonna like it, okay?
this whole thing is just made up, so go for it.
Yeah, today we made it up. I think it would be a good idea if every episode we said what's on our paint table as like a way to like shame ourselves into doing more painting.
Oh, jeez. You know
And
what?
that
Since we started doing these recordings, I haven't painted a thing.
shame.
It's been like
And
a
then
month.
we can save shame to the person who hasn't painted.
Oh,
That's a good
jeez.
idea, right? It's like a new shame section.
Oh, the hobby shame section.
Yeah, the hobby shame section. I think that's
Oh,
good.
here,
This is
I'm gonna
healthy
have to
for a
toss my
community,
hat in the
right?
ring.
Yeah, yeah, this is totally healthy.
I haven't painted since we started doing this either.
Shame.
I think I'd back it up even more. I haven't painted since getting ready for that teams tournament back on June 6th or whatever it was.
How many weeks of shame is that, do we have to say?
I think I'm at like 6 or 7 almost.
There's only 52 weeks in the year, right?
Yeah.
I at least have excuses. I've been busy.
That's what they all say.
No, I picked up a new hobby, editing your voices to sound better.
That is true. Yeah, we
That's
have been
just,
spending a lot more time doing this now as well, in place of our weekly paint nights.
yeah, I don't think we thought that part through when we started this.
No,
It was more
maybe
of,
someday we'll be skilled enough to paint and talk at the same time. At this point,
Yeah.
I can only muster talking.
I'm a
I feel
terrible
like we could have done
multitasker.
today. We could have done today painting, I think. We kind of just rambling anyway.
Yeah, but
Fair enough. What is on your desk then, Andrew? You tell us.
Well, thanks for asking, Zach. As many people know, I've finished my Rohan army, which I'm pretty happy with. Um, and it's important, as we were saying in the last episode, it's important to take breaks and change up what you're painting. So I'm working through my 40K backlog now. I got a Hive Tyrant that's almost ready to get washed, sitting on my desk here. It's fully magnetized. It's pretty awesome. Um, that's what I'm working on. My goal is to have it done in 2 weeks.
we're setting goals now too.
I mean, I'm setting a goal.
All right, Zach, what do you got?
Oh
Oh,
yeah, look at
Um,
so
this
hasn't been
is,
touched since March.
oh,
that.
I didn't have to throw a time frame out for that, but that's part of my current project is slowly plugging away at that guy, doing it bit by bit. I'm not gonna, I think, just get it all done at once. It's definitely gonna be a time frame and slowly plugging away at it. And in the meantime, I'm working on my fiefdom slash defenders of Pelennor army. Uh, I got some more clansmen to paint up, a couple axemen, and some more Blackroot Vale archers. So that's currently my two projects: defenders slash fiefdoms, and probably a Grand Army of the South will be what the
Can I
Momac
make
plays in.
can I make a suggestion of your next project?
So I see a lot of shame in my future. Will be
Just ignore what I said.
Just make that suggestion. What is it?
Suggestions to rebase your Golden King.
oh well, yeah, I got to do that too. Yeah, he's
Is
really
your
good.
You were talking about like past armies that you don't want to play because of the paint job. Is your Harad up to snuff to play with, or are you ashamed to take it out?
Oh, I'm ashamed, but that's why I want the Mumak to be nice. So people won't be looking at the Harad, they'll be looking at the Mumak. And I'm never going to be ashamed to play the Fat Boys. I'm so glad they're back.
The Fat Boys are awesome.
The craziest, I think, rules aspect of this game is the fatter you are, the stronger you are, apparently, in this game.
Yeah, for some reason.
I don't get the lot for long to fat, strength 5. Okay. Uh, the Guard, strength 4 with +1 to wound burly. Okay. It makes no sense to me because you're fat. But I think they're fun. They're pretty great. So who cares if they look bad? If I can make the Mumak good enough, that's where people will focus their attention.
And they don't look bad. They're tabletop ready. You got your
Yeah.
colors on 'em. You got stuff. You're just a bit of a better painter than you were back then.
Yeah.
Now, right?
If I was to go back and repaint it, I think it would definitely look a bit better. My color scheme might have been changed. I don't know what I was doing with that, but it is what it is.
Fair enough.
What do you got, Will?
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't worked. I have
necessary.
to choose a new project actually. I have a ton of great plastic that I need to choose. I
That's
mean,
exciting.
it's either gonna be a Rivendell. I want to do a Rivendell army with Arwen and the twins. I think you can make a Rivendell horde, which would be fun. Just a bunch of fight five elves would be back to my glory days.
Win every fight, kill nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And then
the when
shoot
I come up.
everything and kill everything.
That's when I come up against dwarves and I have to dedicate all six of my might points to just killing six dwarf warriors. Uh, but yeah,
But you've
I
always
think that'll be next on the list. Yeah, so I think I have a Rivendell army that I'll probably try to get going. Um, and then I have a bunch of random models like a orc banner for my birders horde and stuff that is unpainted now, and I should get it painted up so that the art's kind of ready. I have a bunch of random Gondor warrior models to paint too, so my reclamation can go above 700, stuff like that. So I need to choose the direction, but I guess now I'll be shamed into picking a project and actually keeping up with it.
See, what a great idea.
This is a
this should have
healthy
been part of our
relationship.
last episode on how to get painting. Just shame your friends.
Exactly. Yeah. Good tip.
Hold yourself accountable.
Jeez.
Keep like a
Anyway,
chalkboard in the background. How many shame points you've earned.
yeah, forget the tally for how many models you paint. It's just it's a
Shame.
shame tally now.
It's a great idea.
Anything, we're at an hour now. So anything about heroic actions, anything you guys want to say, anything. We went over them all, gave a couple examples.
Challenge is weird and niche. I think that's a summary of this episode.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
good.
and unless you're playing the same army and the same two heroes every time, pay attention to heroic actions. Put a march in
No.
your list, find a defense, get a
Get
variety.
attacked.
That's more tools in your toolbox instead of just the same two heroes every single tournament. How many tournaments have you guys been to using those armies? You're up to like 6 or 7 now.
At least.
Um, I think I'm maybe more like 4, maybe 5. 4. I think is my
Yeah, that's
maybe it is
fake
5.
news. I know the teams weekend you had a double tournament that week, is that's two alone.
Oh, so okay, maybe it is 5 then, maybe 6, possibly.
Get, play something else, guys. Get some variety.
I'm working on it.
You don't get to be podcast hosts with two of the top rated, the number one top rated Longshanks users of their armies, okay?
I
By
wasn't trying to
switching
hum.
around your list.
Wait,
I was trying to be humble.
is Zach one for Fornos now?
I think Zach bumped himself up to
After the
number one
last
for
tournament, I
Fortnite now,
was.
right?
Is this globally or is this Canada or what is this?
Oh, it's globally.
Globally on Longshanks.
I
Fact
think
check
there's
us.
questions on how it's ranked and how it actually scores you, but
Yeah.
as per Longshanks, it was saying it might be changed. Someone else might have came ahead on the four. Just the last tournament we played, it did put me at number one.
Man, this is surprising.
That's for sure.
Because I'm so bad.
No, no, you're awesome. You're great. Yeah.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate those compliments.
Those are rude.
At least an algorithm thinks so.
All right. I'm gonna stop it here because I have to go look up Longshanks now and see if you guys are actually telling the truth.
It might have, like I said, it might have
That's
been
true.
different, but there was a moment
A
when it was
moment
like
in
that.
time.
A moment in time. I think I sent Andrew a message after the event being like, I might have to change because I told him before, I was like, yeah, I think I might have to change it up, play a different list next tournament, get some spice. And after that, I was like, I might have to be stuck doing this.
Yeah. Just hold your
A
crown.
reputation now.
I think mine's fairly safe, but yeah, your army, there's a lot. People play it a lot more.
Your army's safe until they release the other six heroes in your list and people can play it.
Yeah. Yeah, then I'm done. But for this few months, I'm happy.
You know what? I still think the way you play it, even with those other heroes, is probably right.
I think it's the strongest version with Helm.
You're playing it with Helm. If you're playing Army of Veteran, you're playing it with Helm. You should.
Yeah. Why would I want to play with someone else?
I think
And
there's a version
then
of
you
Hera and
really,
Freylaf that works though.
Yeah,
yeah, like,
I think there is, but
Freelove adds a
I
cool
want to
ability to
punch
his
stuff with
warband
him.
getting shield wall. Like,
Yeah, that's cool.
that's kind of good.
And then he combos with Hera in some way. But yeah, you would run
Yeah.
it Freylaf, Hera, and then one of the brothers, I guess.
Does Hera give a
Or
Master of Battle? I think it's something like that.
yeah, something like that.
But
And
is
I
there
guess
a
you would take
range?
Olwen.
Yeah, they have to be
He's
close
got to
to
be
each
within
other.
range of her.
Yeah, I think 6 inches or something like that.
Yeah, I still stick with the helm being the better way to play it. I'm sure there will be a new
Sounds awesome.
list coming out and maybe a supplement or something where
I
there's a
hope
list
it's
where Freylap
accidentally
and
leaked
Hera would
supplement.
be like the primary characters potentially.
How can they even make a new list? Like, there was only like 2 battles in that movie. Where do you pick another scene to make a list out of?
I have no idea.
I don't know. They're gonna do it.
Unless it's an all hero list. Isn't there a scene where there's like all the characters are off like after they kill the dweller, not the dweller, that's the thing called
What, the Mumak?
the
The
Watcher.
Watcher?
Yeah, isn't there a scene where there's like a bunch of heroes hanging around?
That's
Yeah, that's like
Targ, and
Freylaf and Hera. Oh, what?
isn't that when Targ shows up and captures Hera?
Yeah.
So
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
by the way,
good guys.
spoilers if you haven't seen the movie yet, but it's
Okay,
been 6 or 7 months.
it's been a long time.
Should we walk through the entire movie and just kind of describe each scene to people?
Darth
No, we
Vader's
shouldn't do
Luke's
that.
father.
What? What?
Just
All
drop
right,
all spoilers.
Okay, let's not do.
let's kill this. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.
Okay, guys. See you later.
There we go.
Paint your minis.
Shame.